Welcome to Reseller Rowboat. I'm glad you've joined me today. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Beth and I live in the Houston area. I've been selling on eBay since 2017. I have about 4 years experience selling appliance parts on eBay. I took a 2-year break from selling them, and as of December 2023, I've decided to part appliances out again. In this video, I'm going to give you tips on how photography is an important part of your appliance part listing. If you enjoyed this video, I invite you to subscribe to my channel, hit the thumbs up, and feel free to leave me a comment below. Let's launch this Reseller Rowboat. Alright, here I am at my kitchen table. It's wooden. I use this table because in the past I used a white butcher paper background, and these parts come straight out of the dishwasher, and sometimes they have water droplets on them, and so it would mess up my backdrop. So that's when I switched to the kitchen table. And also I am now using this collapsible bright yellow yardstick to measure my items. Alright, here I have 2 Q-tips and Windex. And what happens sometimes is when you put parts in the dishwasher, they don't get completely clean, especially these black filter baskets. They have all these tiny grooves, and so what I have to do is spray Windex in them, take a Q-tip, and clean them out really good, and that usually does the trick. I make sure that I photograph all sides of each item, even if the sides look exactly the same. This has helped me in the past when I've had a case open up against me. They can't say that one side had a dent when I showed all sides. And so this goes fairly quickly, these filters. These filters like to roll around a lot on the table, but if you have a really good camera, you can catch a shot even when they're rolling, and it'll be a still photo. Make sure that that little pop-up thingy on the bottom of the coffee filter is not broken or crooked. I've gotten some of those before, and I've had to discard them. Alright, now I am going to photograph a water tank, and this water tank has a lid, and inside it has a charcoal holder, and there is a charcoal filter in there that is clean. Make sure that you always open the charcoal filter and check. It should be either empty or it should have a brand new filter inside. I'm going to take the tape off, and then after I photograph it, I'm going to put the tape back on so that the lid doesn't come off in my basket. To my left on the floor is another basket that I'm putting the items in as I photograph them. And again, I'm doing all sides. And whenever you have a lid, make sure that you take the lid off and take photographs of the tank and the lid side by side. All right, this filter, this is a mesh filter and it has a handle. Make sure if you're photographing a filter like this that you do make sure the handle is in at least one of the photos. I don't like this because my fingers are in the photograph, but I do it anyway. It's important because otherwise they're going to ask you if it has a handle or not. Another reason I love photographing appliance parts is all you have to do is just spin the items around. You don't even have to, it's like when you are taking photos of clothes, you have to put them on the mannequin, you have to turn the mannequin, then you have to take it off the mannequin. This is so much easier. I can photograph 30 to 40 appliance parts rather quickly. Another reason that I like photographing appliance parts is I don't have to do it in my office. So my spouse is actually in a room attached to this room. You may see me talking in the video. We're just having a conversation. It's like I'm in the same room with her, even though I am quote working. Also, I am actually on the clock remotely for my boss right now. And so I'm just going to take about 30 minutes of my time to photograph items, and I have my computer next to me and I can see if an email comes in that's important, and then I will stop taking pictures for a moment and answer an email. This little capsule holder and filter that was inside was kind of a pain in the butt. I never could get all the coffee grounds out of it, and I tried and tried, and I make sure that I take photos of the insides, the bottom, just so they can see that there are coffee grounds still in there. This one I spent a little bit more time than I wanted to. I have all of these written down. All the parts have already been comped. All the drafts have already been made. So once I get these photos loaded on my computer, I just pop the photos in and the listing is completely done. And they go to my drafts. I let 30 drafts go live every day. You can see there at the bottom there is still some coffee ground in the bottom. But I got it as clean as I could. Alright, next I'm going to be photographing this carafe, and again, sometimes the dishwasher does not get everything off. Just use a little bit of Windex. This is a Cuisinart carafe, and make sure that you take a photograph of how many cups are in each carafe. Do a close-up shot. Make sure there's no glare when you show that, because even though you have 12 cup in the title, even in the listing, you have to have proof that the machine you're photographing has 12 cups. This carafe has a flip-up lid, so I make sure that I flip the lid up and have a really good shot of the inside of the lid and the entire carafe with the lid flipped up to show that it goes up and it goes down, that it's working. I didn't used to measure my parts in the photos, and this does slow me down quite a bit. Plus, I had a really long morning at the office, so I'm kind of just chilling here. Normally, I go a lot faster than this, but this is just kind of relaxing to me because I don't have to get up, move around, and pick up boxes, and just kind of chilling and, talking to my wife every once in a while. Alright, this is another mesh filter with a handle. It is actually the same exact one that I photographed a couple of minutes ago, but it came out of a different machine. When I make my listings, I put which machine each item came from, and I ask the customer to double check the model of their machine before they purchase to ensure a good fit and to avoid an unnecessary return. Even though this filter would probably fit a different machine, I just think it's wiser to tell them they must have that number. Hey, there's a meatball. I'm having a snack here. I'm on keto. It's important to keep going. And also my water. Gotta drink that. Always have my snacks next to me. This is a little basket for a Biba Baby Cook Solo machine. This is the pitcher or jar or bowl from the same machine. I was really excited to get this machine because it had 6 or 7 parts to it, and none of the ones that are listed, the parts that are listed, are this color. This is a blue. The ones that are listed are green or pink. So I think I might have a good chance of selling this pitcher. I purchased this machine because there were more sold than there are currently listed. So I feel like a customer is going to buy a part before they're going to buy the whole machine. A lot of them are really expensive. Alright, this carafe has a removable lid. So again, when I take the photos of this carafe, I will make sure I take photos with the lid on for the majority of the photos, but I will take a couple of photos with the lid off, the top of the lid, and then also showing the bottom, the inside of the lid. I was very happy that these two carafes were very different. It becomes a real challenge when you are photographing lots and lots of carafes. A lot of them look basically the same. You've got to find a way in your pictures beforehand to make sure that you know which machine they go with before you put them in the dishwasher. Otherwise, they'll get all mixed up. So what I do is I take a picture of the machine model. I lay all the parts out on the table and take really good close-up pictures of all the pieces, especially the filters and the crafts, since they look basically the same. So when I'm taking those pictures beforehand, I look for different curvatures of the filters, the handles of the crafts, some little difference so that I can tell, I know this carafe goes with SS15 or this carafe goes with 3650. There could be a marking on it, there could be a scratch, just anything that tells me the difference. I've put as many as 7 machines in the dishwasher at one time. It can get very, very confusing. Alright, this is from a breakfast sandwich maker, and I have 2 of these, so I'm just going to photograph one, and the reason I'm going to do that is because they're exactly the same, they're in exactly the same condition, and I don't put quantity 2 in my listings because I end and relist listings periodically, and if you do that and you've sold any, eBay will set it to the original number that you started with. Years ago, when I had an appliance part store, I did that. If I had 5 of the same item, I put 5, and then I'd sell one, and then I had 4, and then I'd sell another one, and I'd have 3. But then when I ended and relisted, it said that I had 5, and before you know it, I was selling parts that I no longer had. So now what I do is in the SKU number, I put 3 or 4 asterisks, and I write, I have 2 of these, or I have 3 of these. And then when one sells, I just sell similar on that, and I take the I have 2 out, and I ship the one that I sold. This was a very interesting piece. I didn't notice it when I first got it. This is another charcoal filter. However, it has a slide on it that shows the customer each month, that reminds the customer to change the filter from January to December. So there you saw me pointing my finger at it to show the customer, hey, this charcoal filter is different. And I also put that in the title so that if this sells, and I have 2 from the same machine, but only one of them has this monthly reminder, I make sure that I grab the correct charcoal filter when it sells. Okay, I had a problem with this part. I made a mistake and didn't put it in the dishwasher, and I thought I could get away with it by spraying Windex on it, but there was just all this goopy stuff on the lid and I couldn't get it off. So after trying for about a minute, I gave up and went over and put it in the dishwasher. It will have to be photographed the next day. Alright, right now I'm photographing the plate from that cup rest, and when I showed it on my live stream the other day, it had rust on it, but I did put it through the dishwasher and the rust stains came right off. Alright, this is the blade from the Biba Baby Cook Solo, and my first photographs are going to be of the blade and the screw that attaches it. I want the customer to see on the very first photo that this comes in 2 pieces. Right away, I want them to know that I have everything they need to attach the blade to the jar. And then one of my last photos will be with the blade and the screw put together. Alright, this is the lid to the jar for the Baby Cook Solo, and I'm not sure if I broke this piece, but one side looks broken, and I did this with another one that I took off the machine a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know if it's just made that way. After I photographed this lid, I tried putting it back on the machine and it seemed like it went on just fine, but I'm gonna just set that part to the side and do a little bit more research on it. The photograph in the instruction manual doesn't show it off of the machine, so you can't tell if one side is supposed to be shorter than the other. You can see me looking at here going, what the heck is going on here? This doesn't look right. To the left on the floor, you could see the machines that I've been parting out, that I've been taking photographs of. They're on the floor. I always keep my machines. I don't recycle the bases or anything until all of the parts have been listed, because sometimes I figure out that I can take another piece off of it, or I lose the photograph of my model number, so they don't go in for recycling until the listings are completely done. Here you can see me trying to figure out how to get that lid back in, and I don't know if I ever did figure it out, but I just set it to the side. So I thought, while I have the machine out, I might as well see if I can take some of the feet off. I use needle nose pliers. The tip of getting these feet out of the bottom of the machine, I don't know what I'm doing there. I think I'm checking to make sure I'm still recording. Anyway, the trick is to stick the pointed part of the needle nose pliers way down into the hole, squeeze and pull. They come out very easily. I sell feet in my store, 4 for $11.99 or 2 for $9.99. My listings are 10% off as soon as they're listed, and a customer can use a 20% coupon on top of that. So they usually get them for about, I don't know, $7 or $9. Alright, this is how I photograph the feet. I stand them up or lay them down in different shots. So I usually have about 3 shots of each. I also write down on a stick note the model number of the machine, because in this one sitting I'm going to be photographing the feet from 4 machines, and I want to make sure I get the right ones. So this goes off the Baby Cook. I took a picture of that, and then I take a picture of the feet, and then I stand them up. Take a picture of them that way, and then I take a picture from the top. Super easy. I put them in a Ziploc sandwich bag with my stick note. Super easy. Now when I ship these, I put them in the Ziploc bag, and then I have a label from my title, and I usually staple those closed just to make sure the feet don't fall out. Right now I'm photographing another charcoal filter holder. This one does not have a filter inside, and it does not have a monthly reminder. Alright, now I have the instruction manual for the Biba Baby Cook, and it also came with a recipe book. Whenever I photograph instruction manuals, I always photograph the cover and the front cover, then the back cover, and I usually photograph one page in between. A lot of times it's the last page, because in my listings I write how many pages the instruction manual is. However, I never do show the picture that shows the parts. I appreciate sellers who do that, because sometimes I go into people's listings to see the names of the parts, but I've decided that I'm not going to provide that service for other sellers. I'm just kind of stingy that way. This was a strange part. It was called a lid, but it was also called a filter, and it's not really a filter, so they called it a smoothie filter, which I thought was really strange. Always put the words cover and lid, because you never know how a customer is going to search for that item. Same with jar and pitcher. Think I'm almost done. It's a spatula to go with the Biba Baby Cook. Super fast. I think I only took 3 photos. Oh, yeah. Looks like I'm done. So that's basically how I do it. If you have any other questions for me regarding photographing appliance parts, please put them in the comments below. I thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, paddle on. We're all in this business boat together, and I hope to see you in my next video.